Right, I think things are working. Hello, sorry, brain's not braining today. Intro, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Hello, welcome back. It's been a funny old morning, although I think it might be afternoon now, who knows. In the last episode, we built this. Well, no, we didn't build this. That's the workshop that we built a few episodes ago. We built... Hang on, I can do this, I'm a competent and strong individual. We built this, which I still haven't got around to connecting up yet, but, you know, I'll do that eventually. Now, between episodes, I did do a little bit of shenanigans, and I made myself a stack of train tracks. Now, I will do an episode on making train tracks, but I want to do that because later on, because making train tracks by hand is such a pain in the backside that it would have been an entire episode on its own, and I don't want to do that. So that is going to go in one of the next few episodes, because we're going to make a semi-automatic system for it. Until that point, we can have a little bit of a tinker with train tracks. I will explain a fair bit about them actually. I was debating whether or not to, but I think I will. Somewhere around here I should have some more obsidian. Not in my backpack. So train tracks are awesome because they allow you to make trains and move stuff around with trains and all sorts of train-based shenanigans. But in this particular instance, we want to throw a train through a nether portal, which is why I'm stealing all of the obsidian from over here. So all we're going to do is build a nether portal over here, like so. And this is why I made that nether portal 3 wide, but I've decided I want to do this over here now rather than somewhere else. And then we want this to be 4 tall, I think. Yeah. 4 tall. A tank in each corner for no reason other than style points. And there you go, you have big nether portal. Do I have my flint and steel? I do. Swings and roundabouts, eh? And then you need to load the portal on the other side. That's important to note, otherwise this won't work. Yeah, so now that we've loaded this is not hello sheep, this is not... No, this is my old portal, isn't it? Okay, well that works. This is not the best spot that we could have hoped for, because there isn't a nearby lava lake. Which is obviously what we want in order to automate lava. I'm just going to make this portal a little bit wider. In fact, I'm going to just alter mine the whole thing. Because you need it... Well, you don't need it to be 3 wide, but it looks better 3 wide, and it means it's less likely that your driver will die of death. Because your driver will suffocate in obsidian blocks if you're not careful. Done that far too many times. There. Slightly larger portal. So we are going to need, obviously, to make a train track over to somewhere where we can find a lot of lava. So a lava lake. For the time being, let's just get that track going. In here. Please. Why are you not working? There we go, okay, just needed a bit more space. Let me go grab some tape. Really ought to bring... I might bring my bed over, because this is going to be our actual house, as well as a workshop, but it's going to be primarily it's going to be a workshop with a bed in it, basically. I will build a building around it, though I can't promise it'll be the prettiest. There you go, that'll do. I can't remember what I was saying. Oh, yes, I should explain. This here, I may have made some train tracks, and then reloaded the whole world and they'd all just disappeared. So what I did was I got rid of all the materials and then just gave myself a stack of train tracks. Something broke and I ended up reverting by about a Minecraft day's worth, maybe a couple. Yeah, so explanations there. I didn't just cheat myself in a stack of train tracks because that would be bad. Anyway, yeah, so that's going to go across there. We are also going to need, and I didn't make these because I should have thought of this really. We're going to need a station, which, if I'm not very much mistaken, requires train casing, which requires 2 sheets. Okay, that's going to be a faff. I'm going to try doing some hard cuts rather than time lapses, because I've done quite a lot of time lapses over the last few episodes. I mean, I think the last one alone had like 3 in it. So I'm going to try just cutting for because I don't know how I'll feel about it. I prefer to show you guys everything. Yeah, okay, so I'm just going to cut to having all the stuff that I need to make a train, and then we can talk a little bit about trains. Okay, I shall see you in a bit. Hi, welcome back. I think that's my first proper hard cut like that. This is the first serious one, so I have been away for, I want to say about half an hour. No more creeper holes, I haven't filled that in yet, but I have connected all of this up. I forgot, cogwheels are waterloggable, so yeah, condense this down a little bit, which is nice. Much nicer than having a whole bit sticking out over here. So we have, what new things have I made? I made some, what are these things called? Tanks. I made some schedules, some train stations, some train casings, a blaze burner, some portable fluid interfaces. This isn't everything we'll need, but it'll do for the minute. So, oh, that was the wrong button. Again, I've been playing Terraria, so escape is inventory in my head at the moment. So, with train stations, they are directional. So if I just, there's a way to clear the selection, but I've forgotten what it was. I don't know. You can, yeah. There we go. So you see they've got an arrow on them. This arrow is the direction at which trains can approach this station. They can only approach a station from one direction, not both. Excuse me. Which is useful because it means that things will always line up and you don't get trains coming in from the wrong direction. So in this particular instance we want it going that way because the train's going to come through that portal and be going that way. And then we just stick that there and you can see successfully bound to target track. Now we have got a second station, but that's to go in the nether. We then want to click create new train and then close that window, and you see you get a little blue thing there. And on said blue thing, if you plonk a train casing, you get a bogey, which isn't funny, definitely. And we're going to want 2 bogeys, because, you know, they taste better in pairs. That was a horrible joke, I'm so sorry. And I think actually we want this a little bit further back. Yeah, let's go there. Now this front bogey is going to be our pull the train along thing. That's a technical term, by the way, the pull the train along thing. And this bogey at the back is going to be the tank. And when I say tank, I do not mean big gun on wheels. But that would be cool, wouldn't it? So I'm just going to go for a 3x3x3. It doesn't need to be massive. And then we're going to need a portable fluid interface. Now, I haven't got any pipes ever. Okay, we must construct pipe. Spent all that time making things, and I didn't even do it right. Let's do that many. I've turned down my game volume again, by the way, because I cranked it way down for the last episode, and it was still a right racket. So I've cranked it down even further this time. Why are you... Okay. There we go, some pipes. And then we need an pump. Which means I need a cogwheel, which I've got somewhere, because I removed one from that over there. When I realised that cogwheels are waterloggable. Waterloggable is a really weird phrase in my head. I don't know why, there's just something about it. Anyway, we can put that there, and then we can put that there, and then all we've got to do is make sure that that isn't glued to this, but this is, because this will pass straight through happy as Larry. And you know what I've forgotten? I've forgotten train controls, which I think require precision mechanisms, which are a pain in the backside. Great. And I'm going to need 2 of them. Not worrying about that right now. I can do that in a bit. I will do my usual trick of explaining the principle, and then going away and doing things on my own volition. So, you need to stick, obviously, all of your train together, and then you need to stick that to the bogie. And then on this bogie, I'm going to put a blaze burner. Now this is because eventually when I turn this into a train, but you can't turn it into a train without train controls, the blaze burner is going to be our driver. And it's going to use these train schedules to automatically drive between the nether and this gaff. Now if I click a single train, it will complain that it doesn't have... Oh yeah. It will first of all complain about that, and then it will complain that it doesn't have any train controls. How do I make train controls? I think they require precision mechanisms, don't they? Ooh, I'm having an argument with it. There we go. Train. Yeah, they do. I just remembered. Yeah, okay. In that case, we can leave that for the minute, and we'll set up the nether side. Hey! Right, so first thing we need to do is find ourselves an lava lake. Ooh, there's basket over there. I think we found the one patch of the nether that has, like, no lava lakes. I'm honestly impressed. Right, we need to find a lava lake, and it needs to be out of decent size. I forgot that I don't have a jetpack. Is that going to be sufficiently big enough? That definitely is, actually. Looking at it. Yeah, that's more than big enough. Okay. Let's just go home quickly. There we go. Have some kip. Just make sure that I haven't got replay mod going. I'm not sure how I feel about replay mod. Yeah, it's an odd one. Anyway, so for this we're going to need our furniture, so we can see chunk builders. We want the majority of our everything other than the train tracks, basically, to all be in the same chunk. Oh yeah, I forgot that that's a thing that you can't create sloped desk bends. Alright, let's get some cut tough bricks. We'll use those. And we need to go along here. And all I'm going to do is make a train track over to where we want, well, the same chunk as that lava lake, basically. Which is going to take a minute, so I'm going to... Do you reckon cut or do you reckon time lapse? Now, as much as I enjoy a good time lapse, I might do another cut, mainly because I can't bother to find more music. So yeah, I'm going to cut there, and I shall see you all in a bit. Lots of quick cuts today, eh? I better find some good transitions, hadn't I? See ya! Hi, we're back again. Oh, I've done 2 of those intros with my annoyingly voiced hi. I did make some train controls while I was out and about, and I have now assembled this into a train. It's all working fine. While I'm here, I need to run over and grab this hand crank. I also made another portable fluid interface and a hose pulley. I'm sure portable fluid interfaces used to be made in 2s, like you got 2 for the price of 1, but now you only seem to get 1. Maybe that's portable storage interfaces where you get 2. Either way, they're not difficult to make. Shooting a copper casing. There we go. Anyway, we're going to come over here into this chunk, and we want all of our constructions. You better not shoot me off my platform. We want all of our constructions to happen in this one chunk. So let me bring out some cobble for me to do some building with. Actually, I should bring my train over here too. Let's just build out a little bit of a platform, and then over here we want another train. Actually, let's put it there. In fact, let's bring this as far into this little area as we can. Now, I have made this train track perfectly straight. Obviously, it doesn't have to be, but anywhere that you want your station to be will need to be straight. I will do a more in-depth episode on trains and stations and things at some point, but for now this is mainly focused on power generation. So I'm just going to okay, that's one way of getting home. I'm going to stand on here. Nope, that's not what I wanted. And I'm just going to throw the train through the portal. Unless you're on a seat, if you drive the train through a portal, it will just drive over there. Oop. Is that pulled in at the station? I can't tell. We do need this at the station, so let's just... There we go, now we're definitely at the station. Yeah. Of course that's facing the wrong way. Okay, I need another portable fluid interface then. Let's put it portable fluid interface. How do we make these? Shoot some copper casing. Well, am I being hit by it? I am. Bye. Have I got chutes? I have. Have I got logs? I have, and I've definitely got copper, so I can make these here. Wonderful. Oops. Copper, there we go, copper casing. Wonderful. Again, could have sworn copper casing used to be made with copper sheets, not just straight up copper, but there you go. Disassemble train. That goes there. Where's my glue? Where is my glue? There it is. Go away! Honestly, I'm trying to reap your nether for all it's worth. Honestly. It's like they've got something against me. I could make some gold armor, but alright, leg it back over here. I'm not doing well today, I'm really not. Is this the game getting back at me for me having to cheat in that stack of well, I didn't want to. I really didn't. You sound like some sort of supervillain trying to justify his reign of terror. But oh Christ, I'm back. Sure, if I die 1 more time, this is going to have to be like a montage of me just falling in the same hole over and over again. And done. Oh no, okay, we're okay. I haven't fallen in the same hole again. Right, that sticks on there, and then I need to empty out loads of this stuff from my inventory. I don't need all of it. And then assemble train. There we go. Itchy nose. There we go. Okay, so next thing we want is we need to go a block away, like so, and stick another. That's the wrong way around. And stick another portable fluid interface there. They should have connected. They have. Wonderful. And then we need a hose pulley. I also need a pump, so let me just make one of them real quick. Which is going to need a shaft. I don't appear to have any planks. No, I do. So we're going to need a shaft, one of those. I'll need those shafts in a minute. And where's my pipes? I definitely had some a minute ago. Sort that, that should be under the top. There we go. Pump. So, pump can go anywhere, but we need it facing into what's this thing called again? Potable fluid interface. Nope. Like so, and then we want it coming out of a hose pulley. Then, with the hose pulley, we need the the hand crank that I retrieved a minute ago, which is going to go on there. Then I'm just going to drop down here, so that we can see things, and shimmy around a little bit, actually. And then we want to crank this down. Now, this needs to go down until it can't go down no more, which is going to take quite a while, come to think of it. So, how's your day been? Yeah. Obviously, you could do this with like a thing that I've forgotten the name of, water wheel or something. And we are going to construct a couple of large water wheels in a minute, because obviously we need to power that pump. But for the time being, this will do. There we go, so that's gone down, and we can see it has gone into the lava. Good, I've positioned this correctly. Now, in theory, because this is absolutely massive, it should classify as more as, I believe it's 10,000, it might be 20,000 blocks, which means, excuse me, the game will believe it's a bottomless supply. That's basically a lag thing to stop Create from trying to calculate how many blocks things are, and instead just pretend it's a bottomless supply and don't worry about it, basically, which is great for us because it means we get free lava, basically. Now, you can make a bottomless supply, that's not what I wanted to do, in the overworld by just making a massive pit of lava, but right now we do not have the resources to do such a thing, so quite simply we're not going to. Next things next, we need some power over here, just so that we can power that, what's it called? Yeah, that thing. Which is why I'm just going to knock up a large water wheel, like so, and I need another large cog, actually. There we go. So the large cog is going to go there, the water wheel is going to go there. Now that will gear it up by a notch, which obviously isn't the fastest, but it'll do. Where's my bucket? Oh, I put it in the other thing, didn't I? Okay, I've got some iron somewhere. There it is. Now, as the name would not suggest, water wheels can in fact be powered by lava, which in the nether, as you can imagine, is fantastically useful. So I'm just gonna do some perfectly normal methods of retrieving lava. There we go. Throw ourselves through the portal once more. I swear to God, if I fall in that pool. Huzzah! And then all we have to do is just stick some lava like that. And then that makes that thing spin, and that's fine. So now, in theory, we're filling up with lava. Yes, you can see a little layer of lava now starting to form. Hello. Nice to meet you. I'm going to brutally murder you now. Apologies. That can go in the quote book, I reckon. I'm going to brutally murder you now. Apologies. Then we want to take one of these train schedules. I need to rename these stations, actually. Let's do that now. I don't think we need these stations to have fancy names, do we? So let's just call this Lava... Actually, Lava Pickup. There we go. That can just go like that. And then I'll rename... Actually, I won't bother renaming the other one. Travel to station, track station, which is our home, and then we're going to stay there until fluid cargo is exactly 0 buckets, so it will stay there until it's empty, and then you're going to travel to lava pickup, and you're going to stay there until cargo inactivity, so nothing has happened for 1 second, which will be once this is full. Actually, I don't think I want to do it like that. I think, because that's going to take bloody ages for that to fill up. So, let's instead go fluid cargo condition more than... let's go... We want it to be a multiple of 9 probably, so let's go like 45 buckets. And then we just give that to that fella. Evidently we've got more than 45 buckets, so that's going to go through into the overworld. And we're going to follow it. Now this hasn't powered yet, so this fella's going to be staying here. That's weird, isn't it? I built this deliberately, but that really confused me. Yeah, so this hasn't powered yet. So we need to get this powered, which we want to do off of this windmill. Speaking of which, this overstress, it is. Let's fix that real quick. Oh, actually I'll do that between episodes, because I'm going to wrap this up now with one last little... I tell you what, this has been a much shorter episode since I started cutting out all of me running around doing things. But I am going to use, and this is a cheat, so I do apologise if you don't like this, but I am going to do / force load add this chunk. So now this chunk will always be loaded. Now I could get like some sort of chunk loader mod. There is a good create one called Create Power Loaders, which I could use, and that would work perfectly well. But it's another it's another mod to add to a pack where we're trying to be very minimalist. So I'm not going to do that, and instead I am just going to use / force load, but that is the only chunk that I am going to use that on, because I don't want everything everywhere all at once to be loaded. Yes, that was a reference to the film, by the way, which I haven't actually seen, but I've heard good things. Anyway, yes, so I'm going to get this all powered in the form of a time-lapse. Why not? We haven't done a time-lapse this episode, so yeah, I'm going to get this all powered in the form of a time-lapse, and then I'll bring you guys back in to see everything working. In hindsight, I'm going to set that to 90. No, actually, let's stick with 45 buckets. Okay, so let's wire all this up. Okay, I will see you all in a little bit once I've wired this all up, and I will show you it working. Toodles. People, welcome back. It is lovely to see you all. I've been affected by something, but oh, it is good to see this spinning. This has been a long time coming, hasn't it? So, at long last, what's this? 3 episodes now we've spent building this gaff, but we have done it. Now, I am slightly worried that our lava production isn't going to be fast enough, because this is empty. I mean, these are all going, so I'm not too worried, but I don't know how... I think we should be okay. But this might stop in a minute and then start up again once that comes back, because we need a full load of lava. Let's just double check that this fella is filling up properly. He should be, but I'm assuming this train is I can't judge. Can't assume that sort of thing in these modern times. Yeah, this is filling up wonderfully. Okay, so that should be coming back through in not so long. I might end up at some point in the not too distant future taking a rotational speed control over there. So in the next few episodes we're going to make a semi-automatic system for collision mechanisms. So I'll wait until we've done that. Well, look at my food. Okay, so that's going to be about it for this episode, but I'm going to wrap up real quick, just talking through some of the changes I've made. Not overly happy with this shaft being here, but I might tidy it up and put it somewhere else in a bit, but for now that'll do. I made the windmill a little bit bigger. This I've had to crank down. The highest speed I could get to was 73, but that is more than fast enough, really. I've taken the rotational speed controller from over there and plugged it in. That needs to be a stair, not a full block, so I'm just going to run over here to my stone cutter and do that. There was something else I wanted to say. Oh yeah, these were going in the wrong direction, as it turns out, but I have fixed that now, so they are now going the right way. There we go, so now we can access that loot as well. Now, I do need to double check to make sure that they do work, so let me get a full stack of something, so let's just use cobble for the sake of argument and chuck it in there. I think this belt's going the wrong way, by the way. It is. Okay, I need to fix that. Where's my cobble gone? Oh, it's in there. Found it. Nobody panic. Right, let's just fix this belt real quick. Where's it getting powered from? Oh, I'm not sure that's going to get cooked, is it? No. Okay, so that is something we need to fix. But this gives us an excellent opportunity to talk about something. If I just shrink this back. So with brass funnels you can set how many items. So, and with this process here, the less items that are in the stack, the faster it will happen. So if I set it to half a stack, it should, in theory, it's not a linear scale, so half a stack doesn't happen twice as fast, but, you know, it'll do. So hopefully that will cook. I need to work out how I'm gonna spin this round. Where are we accepting power from? Up there. Okay, that's fine. If I remove that and put a shaft in instead, that is not how those things work. Haha, I'm clever, I promise. Okay, in that case, let's get... have I got any belts? I don't think so. No, but I have got some dried kelp, so I can make one. Let's get a belt. Extend that out by a block. Then that can go there, and then if I get another gearbox, which I will need to craft, that can go in there. And that has smelted, so that did work. Okay, so set it down to half a stack and it works. That's okay, we can live with that. Okay, so I need to knock up another gearbox to make that work, which isn't a complicated process, as I'm sure you guys have already figured out by now, as I have been making gearboxes willy-nilly. Once again, promise that's not a euphemism. It is genuinely just a British phrase. There we go, that's now spinning in the correct direction. Wonderful, so now all of our outputs will end up in this chest. It has occurred to me that I have only set that one to only go a stack at a time. So when you have funnels extended like this, you can only access the interface from the top here, you see? So if I pop up... Also, belts will move you unless you shift. There you go. That is actually useful information, not just me yapping. So yeah, you can access the interface from the top when you extend a funnel. So we are setting them to maximum of 32 rather than exactly 32. That's maximum, that's exactly. Because obviously, if we put like 2 things in there, we still want those 2 things to get smelted or washed or whatever. But we want a maximum of half a stack. But yeah, that is this done, basically. We've got a fully operational workshop. Well, not fully operational, I should say, not the next episode, in the episode after the next episode. Ooh, I should turn that off, shouldn't I? There we go. In the episode after the next episode, we are going to be adding to this workshop a little bit, but I need the second floor of the workshop before I can do that. But thank you all very much for watching. I'm going to capture a screenshot, not of that. I will go over there actually. Let's do that now. Thank you all very much for watching me ramble about the Create mod. There you go, train's come back and this is filling up. Perfect. One thing to mention is that train won't unload unless these chunks are loaded, but because I'm going to be here, whenever I want this to be working, I'm going to be here. So, you know, ooh, we're not getting enough, of course we're not getting enough water. Okay, so I do need to sort this out. I might put a second pump over here that's attached to this. That would be clever. But anyway, I'll do that between episodes. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you did, and even if you didn't really, I think you should you should subscribe, press all the buttons that the algorithm likes. I love you all very much. Thank you for entertaining my oddities, to say the least. Yeah, in the next episode it's going to be a bit different. It is going to be purely time-lapse. I know I love a time-lapse. Just of me building a building around this thing. And then the episode after that we're going to be doing a little bit of semi-automatic crafting of things that I've forgotten the name of. Thank you very much for watching. I shall see you all another time. Goodbye!